and TSM here versus 9Pandas. The ESL One Berlin Major, dude. This is going to be so much fun. I cannot freaking wait.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. I mean, I was having a little bit of a chat with good old Matthew Philemon, Mr. Whitemon himself, about how he felt about the patch. He said he absolutely enjoyed it. And I think for a lot of supports, this is a very good patch. I mean, the one pain point is like EXP. I've seen a lot of supports hit like 11 when their cores are 19. But it's really laning. Laning as a support now feels so fun. You know, you've got that lovely blood grenade that lets you be more aggressive. You've got the gates that lets you rotate even on the 5. Like, it's damn fun to be a support in this game right now. Until, you know, minute 15, minute 20. Like, even with a couple of wisdom runes, you tend to lag behind your cores if you're dying in fights first, which, as supports, tends to happen.
Yeah, you know, that's kind of natural for sure. I do like the movement here in the bottom lane. They've gone ahead and centured up the easy camp. Dude, I feel like the Radiant easy camp pull is ridiculously easy. It is on
Yeah,
the
it's so
lane.
dumb.
Like, I cannot believe how close that camp is, but we'll see. A little bit of fighting here for top room potentially. Nah, okay, they're just gonna let it go. So a little bit of advantage actually for 9 Pandas. They'll grab themselves the 3 runes to start the game. Of course, Greevil's Greed being an innate passive, one of the new features of Dota, innate passives. So he'll be very happy to grab that extra gold off those bounty runes. And
Feels
into the game
pretty
we go.
nice to
So
just
mid
start
lane.
off with the extra gold.
Yeah.
Yeah. Taking a look at Bryle up against Kiyotaka. And that Void Spirit versus Puck lane. Again, should be fairly even. Maybe a little bit easier for the Void to harass out early on. You already have Bryle with a circlet plus 3 branches, so he's got a pretty stupid amount of base damage. Like 65, 63 to 67 swing compared to the Puck at 48 to 56. Yeah, he just runs up, right clicks, gets the protection from the Resonant Pulse. The first few levels are going to be pretty tough, and when you land your spells like that, the harassment's pretty hard to sustain against.
My first game of this patch, I come into Dota. I'm like, oh, you know, I want to try some new stuff, and I just play against someone who's like spamming Void Spirit mid. He has like 86 damage at like level 4. And I was like, what is happening right now? I'm like, how is this balanced? But there it is. It's gonna be the first blood happening in the top lane. As Antares does get Ari Tomato with the turnaround, you know, getting himself a little bit of XP and gold his way as well, but that's the power of the techies, man. We see this hero usually play super aggressive in the lanes, and he's got a blood grenade as well. One of those new. Actually, okay, I'm curious how you feel about blood grenade because I feel like it is absurd, and Tomato actually just getting beat down as well. Does get tossed to salve though, so he'll be fine.
Should be able to sustain true. Blood grenade is really dumb. I love it. I think it. I don't know if I want to tweak. I feel like this is good for the game. I feel like just having these options to be aggressive on all sides is just really good. So I don't actually want it nerfed. I think it is something everyone has to pick up. Like, I've seen some games early on in the patch where both supports just start out with a good amount of blood grenades. They can stack up now, so they're not eating extra inventory space. The top lane is pretty hard for Tomato to sustain true. It's a lot of magical damage early on with Techies and Doom. And again, this is more than likely 9Panda's strongest lane coming out. And they find the kills on Ari. They're pressuring Tomato. He's already down to half HP again after the salve. So it's not an easy time to sustain it. Oh, God.
Yeah. Dude, the fact that Blastoff has the stun built into it now instead of the silence is such a wild change for this because it's so disorienting unless you've played against it enough. In bottom lane, they're going to see them get aggressive as well. As they managed to take down Kasane. So 3 kills right now for the side of 9Pandas.
I'm a little bit surprised they're able to bully out down bot, but that's the one thing with the Underlord. It is a stable laner, but it's not a very aggressive laner. You do have enough magic damage to, again, just kind of burn him down. You've got the Acid Spray to soften him up by a significant degree as well. Not the highest armor hero in the lane, and it's a double melee lane for TSM to play with. So it's not like you can easily apply that pressure onto the Alk without copping a lot of hits from the Phoenix. It's very easy for Roger to land a Fire Spirits, despite not having the best setup in something like the Alk.
All right. Excited to see how they kind of adjust to this lane here. I think, like, for the most part, bottom lane on the Underlord, like he just needed to get to this Vanguard, and now that he has the Ring of Health, it should be pretty okay for him. Should be able to sustain the lane, after that. But you do kind of have to slow down the Alk. Now that Grievel's Greed is just built into his hero, like it makes it really easy for him to actually play aggressive in lanes, and he's going to try here once again as the stun does connect. Roger here on the Phoenix, burning him down with the spirits as well. And Kasane will make it under his tower. Does have to dodge the last spirit, but it does connect. Is it enough? Down to 20 HP, he will survive. Okay.
Yeah, the Tango barely saving him.
Dude, but
A little bit more action up top as well.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Dude, the blast off into Blood Grenade is actually doing so much damage. Like, this Techies is just destroying these lanes. Mid lane, Puck, though, does end up dying. His rotation from Whitemon helps find the kill, and Bryle looks like he might give his life up over to Roger here as he does connect on that Fire Spirit, so he's going to get a trip back to the well as well.
Yeah, nice little punishment coming out here from 9 Pandas, but overall, I love how they're running these lanes. They're just hyper aggressive. The top lane, you expect to be aggressive. The bot lane, because your Alk just has built-in Grievel's Greed, you could go for the much more aggressive Acid Spray along with Unstable. Right? And it's a positive feedback loop. You drop that Acid Spray, Unstable Concoction's physical damage to minus armor stacks up. And the Underlord doesn't have the best armor to begin with. So you can just shove him out, get an easy lane going for yourself. And it doesn't look like there's anything to relieve that pressure here for TSM early on. 9 Pandas are just getting away with a lot. Kasane?
Yeah, they're going to make the same exact play over and over. They do go for the Impale here to buy him some space, but again, the damage is just too much. 2 points in these Fire and Spirits, 2 points in the dives. I mean, it is all aggression here out of the side of 9 Pandas.
Yeah, this is something that reminds me of, funny enough, a different team in this major. SMG used to love running something like the offlane Alchemist before you had that innate Grievel's Greed, and you would see them go for the same build, right? 2-2-0. You don't really need your passive here until you start joining fights. In lane, you just harass so much with your Unstable and Acid Spray, your farm just scales up. You're not really punished for it on the Alk as much as you were before. Rotation on mid here, though.
Yeah, they're looking for Kiyotaka. Doesn't hit 6 yet on the Puck. Bryle, with that XP advantage, will punish him, but the rotation from Antares as well. Trying to bring down the Void Spirit. The dive in from Roger. He does clip him with the Spirit. He's going to try and finish the kill. Down to 9 HP, but will survive.
And barely surviving. And 9 Pandas just suffering a little bit in that Puck lane. Quite a fair bit behind for Kiyotaka now in terms of CS. Also doesn't quite have his level 6 up just yet, so you've got that slight power spike advantage here for Bryle to play with. And they're forcing out these rotations onto mid, which still doesn't hurt your side lanes much. Take a look at top. Tomato is just forced away from lane. Like, Miero has a free lane solo, has that Vanguard up, free to push, free to farm, and do what he wants. And there's just no punishment. Again, you're forced to help mid. Kasane?
I mean, they're going to bring Void Spirit to the top lane, but yeah, you're right. Kasane dives bottom. They just turn around onto the Terrorblade instead, and Tara snipes him, and Roger ends up with a double kill as he takes down Whitemon as well. Dude, they are just crushing now. A 3K lead here 7 minutes into the game, and they're going to just farm the enemy team stacks. Ramsey's level 6 already.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have this really sick timing into the Radiance. And again, it's hard to stop a snowball once it begins. You still have fight potential here on TSM. Wisdom runes come out. We're not going to be able to snag the opposite side rune. At least Whitemon grabs his, no problem. Still a long ways from that 6 down mid.
That is an egg for sure. Committed, but top lane, the Doom's also been dropped here onto Tomato, and Miro will just run him down. It's going to be a death. Another death here on this Terrorblade. Dude, he's 1 in 3. Bryle, the only one really having a decent time here for the side of TSM.
And then this goes back a little bit to the draft from TSM. Like, they first pick this Terrorblade early on. And it just doesn't feel like it's that well protected right now, Roger.
Oh, no. All right, they still managed to get the kill. A couple spells off the mark there, but with the rotation from Ari, he gets the bottle refill as well. The DD and the Astral Strep, obviously, it's a lot of damage. You need to be careful of this.
Yeah.
He's going to try and get vision here with Whitemon. Oh. He knows. He jumps in instead, finds the techies on the top side, and Bryle will grab himself another.
Yeah. I mean, you still manage to find something on the tail end of your double damage. Again, you're kind of trying to build up in one here that's winning hard. So you want Brile now to be that launching point for the side of TSM while they go into recovery mode for Tomato and for Kasane. They're still keeping all of that emphasis on mid. Not too much mana left on Brile.
No,
not going to be able to snag away the bounty as well. Will they be able to? Yes. All right.
Yeah, they will. Very nice. And the problem is they're a little under-leveled here on the supports from TSM, right? Like, there are... I guess Ari did soak up a little bit of XP mid, so he's going to be level 6, but Whitemon still level 5, needs a whole other level to catch up. But bottom lane, they're going to go ahead and just chase after Kasane. The dive through, they drops a bit of Malice, try and get some space, but Antares has a blast off if he even needs it. Ramsey's just tanking the tower, does not even seem to care. But Brile will find Kiyotaka in mid lane as well. So another trade, which he would double brace? I guess he's universal, man. This is so weird. What a hero now.
Yeah, and this is something you can get done with this new universal type. You don't necessarily care for the primary attribute on these stat items anymore.
Dude,
so going all in strength's not too bad. Yeah, just more durability, more output, more control. Well, it has to be a little bit cautious. Doom's coming off cooldown if Mira wanted to, but nah, it's not going to wait around too long. You're almost going to find that bot tower in the next shove in from 9 Pandas. And this lack of map control on the side lanes is... it's really painful. Like, it doesn't feel like you care about mid as much. Like, you still have your inner jungle control for sure, but you have the expanded jungles, you have the expanded objectives. Like, losing this bot tier 1 early on, if it does happen, for the side of TSM, it's harder to access your knowledge rune, your wisdom rune. It's not going to be as easy to reach out into. You're going to be contested in your Tormentor, although...
Ramses, the double Astral Step just bursts him down, does not get enough regen in time, and Roger... He's got an egg available. We'll just dive away, but the chase continues as he's got a haste rune, Void Spirit. He's looking for that opening. The minus armor is there, and he's got a lot of attack speed. Gets him with the Remnant. Can they burst him? They don't even need to bop the egg. They get himself a double kill. Brile now 6-1. Void Spirit completely recovering this side of TSM's game.
He's done a fantastic job of just getting these key kills, like slowing down Ramses just a tad bit, delaying that huge snowball effect the Alchemist can hit once the early Radiance is up, and just buying space out for Tomato. Like, he's uncontested in his own top jungle. They'll try to force something here, though.
Dude, honestly, he's fine. This dude has almost 1,800 health. Oh, nice jaunt there from the puck. He would have been super dead. Otherwise, Whitemon is here. They do catch him with the dust. He's got an Impale. Will throw it off the mark completely as the egg gets dropped as well, and Whitemon will burn Ari and his way back to the tower, and it looks like TSM will just cut their losses.
Yeah, just prevent further bleed out. It's a mass commitment from the side of 9 Pandas to find that punishment. So not the biggest kill to find either, but a kill's a kill. Every single kill does count in the laning phase right now. And you are getting a little bit of relief out for Ramses, who should have his full Radiance up sooner rather than later. And that's the point where it gets a little bit scary. Like, if you start to leave Ramses alone, he's just going to come out of the jungle way too damn farmed, way too hard to burst down with a couple of stat items up. And that farming pace isn't quite there for Tomato. Like, yes, he has all the space in the world right now on that Terrorblade, farming up his top jungle and side lane jungle up top, but it just doesn't reach the same level that the Alk does right now. He goes way too quick.
Yeah. Dude, I love... Something I don't think it's talked about enough right now is the change to how power runes work. I think this is one of the best changes of the patch, personally. They're looking for Roger mid. Whitemon comes in, gets the Vendetta, bursts him down with a rotation from Brile as well. They get him. He does go ahead and activate the shield rune, so he's a tanky boy. Whitemon will die behind the tower, giving that kill on over to Ramses. Dude, I love the shield rune. I was really hoping they were going to add a defensive rune into the game, and then here it is. 50% max HP. It's like 75-second duration or something, isn't it?
Yeah, it's ridiculously long. And with a hero like Void Spirit that you can strength stack on, I mean, you get a pretty huge barrier. Yeah, that you have to clear out. With the Echo Saber up and Power Treads on strength, it's a dumb amount of EHP that Brile has, and it's a defensive rune in one sense, but a good defense is a strong offense, so you just go offensive with that. And it's hard to find punishment onto Brile, who's still hunting for a little bit more. Going to clear that bot tier 1. evening out map control just a little bit. You do have the full Radiance up for Ramses, though, so his BKB not too far off. And the Alk can kind of commit with the early BKB if they want to force these fights out. TSM, though, again, doing a fantastic job of just having Brawl be their point man. At some point, I would like to see what they can do with a Fiend's Gate from Kasane, if that's even going to be a factor for them. But on the hunt...
Fiend's Gate for the XP rune? Like, honestly?
Yeah, why not?
Oh,
even for the Tormentor.
Mid lane, taking a lot of damage here, has the Doom available, but a nice dissimulate away. He will be able to burn him down here, though, thanks to the Underlord's rotation in, but they get the Doom off at the last second. The Egg stunning up too as Ramsey's chasing down. Arya Coil catches them as well. 3 dead for the side of TSM. Beautiful team fight there from the side of 9 Pandas, lining those up.
They overextend just a little bit on TSM, flying a little bit too close to the sun, and they get punished for it. And the Doom just being right in range to be casted on Braille. That control, just really the one big counter you have for that Void Spirit right now. That hard control from Miero, and he nails it in that last fight, even though it cost him his own life. So you get the big kill you'd want. You show up with Ramses in the fight. He gets a double kill for himself. So now his BKB timing's just lacking that recipe now, 600 gold away. And you're still catching up to an extent on Tomato, but again, the progression just doesn't feel like it's going to be fast enough. A 7k lead for 9 Pandas at 15 minutes in. They're still secure on their objective control in their bot lane as well. Tormentor and the Wisdom Rune still firmly under control, as long as it holds for the next few minutes here when the Tormentors are up. And TSM, I like what they've been doing. They've just been running forward with Whitemon, scouting out as best as they can. They need to really land these pickoffs, though.
Yeah, they really do. Ooh. Ramses will send the stun on over the Nyx, and it will be very easy for them to bring him on down here. The Impale will buy him just a little bit of space, but Bryle, that's a double Astral Step away as Ari trying to find some space as well, but it's going to be Kiyotaka that will follow him up, goes for the grave, and it will be a slow bleed here.
The clean house. That's TSM trying to move aggressively there with Whitemon, but they did have the vision control from the side of 9 Pandas to spot out that Invis hero in the triangle area. And you're just kind of doing your best here on TSM to stall out for the Underlord and the Terrorblade. And you're building up decently on Kasane, so it's not all just Tomato. Like, you do have the full pipe up. You're going for the Guardian Greaves next, so just more EHP coming out here for the side of TSM, hoping that's going to be enough for Tomato to stand and fight once he's got his stat items up and his BKB up and running. So there's still tempo to be found for TSM as they try to jump more. Don't commit.
Doesn't commit, yeah. I mean, I like some of the item builds that are coming out from the side of 9 Pandas as well. I mean, Miro's got his pipe. He's going straight for the Crimson Guard now to reduce a lot of the damage that's going to be coming through from that Terrorblade and his illusions. Now, Crimson Guard did just get a slight nerf from, I think, what, 60% to 50% strength on the damage block, so a little bit weaker, or rather a little bit less broken for certain heroes. So I like that change quite a bit. Made the item a lot more, I don't know, made the item more fun and scales better, because I think one of the problems was, like, it had this weird timing of it was great at like 25 to 30 minutes, and then you go late game and you're like, cool, it's gonna block half of an attack.
Yeah, it didn't feel as impactful. Now it's pretty darn busted in like really strong strength scaling heroes that do stack strength items. And down the line, if Miero finds room for, say, an overwhelming blink, it's a dumb amount of damage block coming out. So keen to see just how much value they'll get from the Crimson Guards. Pretty much done already flying out here for Miero. They're already smoked up here. TSM all kind of clumped up bot. They're not under any vision. The Whitemon might walk into some wards here.
Dude, Ramses is so farmed right now, dude. 14,000 net worth here on this Alchemist. The scan does connect, so Terrorblade trying to get out of here, but he's just got no HP, stunned up and bursted down by Kiyotaka's puck. Beautifully done there. And they will TP bottom right away. Whitemon looking for an opening, as they know Antara's did have to come bottom from this. They do have a ward that will scout him in a moment. Yep, there it is. But with the rest of the team missing, it's a little bit too scary.
It's a bit scary, but overall, man, that kill for 9 Pandas is huge. Again, putting a stop to the Terrible to hit these key item timings a little bit earlier. And just taking these stacks away. Growing bigger and bigger on Ramses. With a blink up now, the Al can just get up front and get the initiation for the team. You've got the Levels and the corrosive weaponry up and running now as well. So, I mean, this hero does a lot in these early engagements. And 9 Pandas, Kiyotaka's a bit forward here.
Yeah, they are. I mean, the Remnant will catch him here when he comes back, and the burst damage is there. So they do manage to finally bring down this puck. I mean, that's a lot of gold. That's almost 1,100 for the team off that kill. But, I mean, still, you got a long way to go. You're 12,000 behind. See if it will be enough. Now, Tormentors will be spawning in 40 seconds. And I did, like I said, I talked about it. The fun parts about Techies in the draft. He's just hitting that level 12. That's the magic number here for the Techies, because it does allow him to one-shot Tormentors. So we might see him make a rotation and start trying to set up for these. Yeah, he pings it immediately. He's like, I'm on the way, guys. It's good stuff.
He's ready.
Good stuff.
I mean, dude, when do they go off anyway? So once you, if you drop your, shouldn't you be mining before the Tormentor spawns?
Yeah, you want to proxy mine usually before the Tormentor spawns. I think he realized he was a little bit too late, so he's not going to bother. He'll do it next time. But they're smoking for the enemy Tormentor instead.
I like that. I like this aggressive move. They've got the gem up front as well with Ramsey, so they can spot out when the smoke breaks if Whitemond's kind of lurking in the area. Just making a mad rush. Maybe looking for a pick-off first.
Ooh, the gem will scout Whitemon. And I think he's starting to realize, like, wait a minute, I think he sees me, guys. He's very careful here. Tries to juke into the trees. He will self-stun on the Alf, reflect a little bit of the damage, but the Nyx Assassin will fall. Meanwhile, the Tormentor on the top side is being brought down. So they will at least get the Tormentor for the Nyx Assassin. Not that bad.
And it goes to the Dazzle, which is probably even better, but you're losing Roshan. Like 9 Pandas go from that kill into the Roche. It just melts. Granted, they don't have the full Chemical Rage up and running that long. It's not the quickest Roshan without that. But it's still a massive objective. The one big thing, again, with a Roche take is the Watchers going to your side.
Yeah.
You just maintain a lot of map control off the back of that take, which makes the first Aegis feel more important than it once was. It used to be a little bit more of a farming Aegis. Now you can do a lot more in the map with his take, gain so much more information, and just play aggressively off the back of it. 11k lead for 9 Pandas, 21 minutes in, 21 to 11 TSM. I mean, the recovery process is still there. Tamato was forced to go for the BKB over his Scotty build-up first, so at least he has some spell protection, at least up against everything but the Doom. So Miera still has a nice, easy target to go for if he wants to, and theoretically, you can hold down Bryle just with a coil threat. He doesn't have anything to dispel. So you don't even need to necessarily doom the Void Spirit first. You can just kind of lock him in with your Techies or with your Puck, and then just kind of run from there.
I think he has an Axe, doesn't he, on the Void Spirit? Where did his Axe go? Okay, he's very close. He's literally 70 gold short. I was like, I could have sworn he had the money for this. So yeah, we're going to be seeing the Axe come out on the Void Spirit here fairly soon. So the silence off of Resonant Pulse is really strong. That is just one of those Aghanim Scepters that will give him a little bit more to play with. Great control for the Phoenix. There's no dispel there, as well as the Puck. So could find some openings on those heroes. As in the meantime, we're going to see 9 Pandas take their Tormentor, the Aghanim Shard, who will go to the Phoenix. Okay, so that's another great one.
Yeah. It just gives you so much more coming out with Nova. We haven't really seen that many commitments out from Roger, but now in a very clumped up team fight, you get a valuable heal on hand. You get to extend Ramsey's life if he's in danger, maybe bail someone out, not that terribly in the middle as well, and they'll just go for a smoke. They still have a lot in the tank. Age is still running for 3 minutes more here in Kiyotaka. TSM are all kind of clumped up down bot though. They do have good vision, so probably have a good idea where Kiyotaka is.
Man, it's so weird, like seeing all of these like extra farm camps on the sides of the map here. It's just, Yeah, there's just like 4 jungles, dude. It's so bizarre. Anyway, I do want to talk about like the potential of going late game here, because that is something that I have been seeing a lot on this patch, which is, you know, games going to the 40 minutes or longer. And TSM have a Terrorblade, whereas 9 Pandas have the Alchemist. And Alchemist is usually one of those heroes that wants to end before late game, right?
Yeah, it does. I think it can scale pretty alright. It is going to be a bit troublesome to deal with a Terrorblade, but I think that's where you maybe just eye your Doom as a solution, eye your Puck a little bit as a solution as well. I'm going for maybe some like the Ags build up to have more output, and with something like a Desolator can kind of help the cause here just a bit. So that's where the emphasis kind of goes away from the Alch and how well you can spread that farm to your other cores, which you're doing a decent job of right now in 9 Pandas. Kiyotaka's still farmed up. Miero's not too far behind from the Alchemist, considering, although he does have the Midas up and running. But your farm distribution still even enough that it doesn't feel too painful for the side of 9 Pandas to hit that 30, maybe 35 minute mark. Past that, depends. Although, Kiyotaka...
Yeah, he just goes in aggressively, finds the setup here onto the Dazzle, and gets himself a freebie. On the other side of the map, though, they are looking for Antara as his techies. The disarm makes it a little bit too difficult to chase, and they will just back off instead. And with the gem there, Whitemon in a lot of trouble. They're looking to dive behind the bases. Ramsey goes in, does catch the Underlord. They drop the egg as well as Kasane is trying to make himself to escape into the base, but the stuns, the roots, the slows, it's just all too much. They find themselves 3. I'm going to look for this tier 2 tower in the mid lane.
Yeah, they're just going to take it. No defense coming out from TSM. And we saw a lot of good aggression early on with Bryle. He has the full Ags now. He realizes, though, he can't go in without the BKB anymore. Like, it's too risky. You have too much control coming out from the side of 9 Pandas. You need that spell protection, that debuff immunity on the Void Spirit. And he might get jumped. They've got a good idea where he's at.
They do. They have a good ward up on the high ground, and with that, sets up for the Doom. And Bryle, no chance of escaping here as Kiyotaka secures that one. So that will stagger the death timers on TSM here quite a bit, which makes it really difficult for them to get back out onto the map. Like, yes, the Terrorblade will just keep splitting with the illusions, and he is starting to get closer and closer to his Scotty, but I do worry that you're just going to be bleeding kills at this point as they lose Whitemon once again. And, dude, I just looked at Whitemon's net worth, dude. He's sitting at under 4,000 here at 26 minutes into the game. He has no money.
He hasn't gotten much. I mean, he's been in some early lane kills, but they haven't found that many to snowball off of. And the Nyx is a hero that really relies on pick-off support and anything else. It's not a support that can farm as much. You can stack, but you're not stacking as efficiently as a ranged support. Oh, no. So just missing out on that aggression is big. Oh,
he's got a BKB if he wants to go for the Dispel into Sunder, but just does go ahead and baits out the coil and holds his kit for the moment. So he will just back away. The Pavice, dude, it looks really neat. I actually haven't seen it yet. I like the look of that little shield.
Yeah. I see it a lot. I think China really enjoyed it in the DPC matches that I did manage to see there. Like, a lot of supports are just building Pavice. You see double Pavice even, if your supports are farmed enough for it, which in this case TSM isn't quite. And try for a smoke play here.
Yeah, they will find techies here. I think they saw the ward and they were trying to disengage, but the techies kind of getting left behind here for the moment. The disarm being quite annoying.
So tanky.
One more astral step and then assimilate there from Bryle will find the kill. So he's starting to come back here a little bit. But yeah, that techie's super tanky with the Solar Crest, the Guardian Greaves, and of course the Taser, right? That 3-second disarm is super annoying to play around.
And he has 5 blood grenades as well. So plus 250 HP. Really mass stacking on that. They'll smoke out here on TSM.
Why?
Yeah, so many grenades. I mean, it's in line with techies, right? Lots of kabooms.
He just wanted to roleplay his old techies, I guess. Oh, they're going to jump in here onto Bryle. Ooh, beautiful reflected stun here from the Nyx. Able to just give himself a little bit to play around. They look for the Phoenix on the backside, but they don't have the damage to get on top of him, and instead they're going to just try and rely on Tomato. Just seeing if he can actually find the kills. The egg does come down. He pops the BKB, trying to bring down the egg in time. They will be able to. The Underlord falling low as well, but Tomato needs to be careful. That BKB about to expire. Still has Sunder to fall back on. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade. the Doom will be expiring here on the Void Spirit, so Ryle will be ready to re-enter this fight in a moment. The question is, will they be able to find their opening? They're looking for Ramses. Instead, they're going to settle for Antares on this tech. He's the Impale to follow. They got him. Well, do they? He's surviving for the moment. The disarm doing some work to turn around onto Bryle to get the stun. He's gone. Ramses still has his BKB available, chasing down Tomato. He's popped the BKB to dodge out the Spike Carapace. They really want to get this Terrorblade. The chase continues. The stun comes out. Will he be able to sunder anything is the question. Miro with the War Stomp, but the Shallow Grave comes through, and now the turnaround onto Ramses. He's been able to survive for the moment thanks to that Chemical Rage, but can they actually kill the Terrorblade? It looks like they will be able to. The Constant Hex is the blast off as well. It's 4v1, baby. Triple kill for Kiyotaka on the puck as they wipe TSM. Did they lose anybody? I don't think they did.
No, not in the follow-up fight. They did lose Roger earlier on the egg, but afterwards, nothing else. And for TSM, like if you actually just settle for these pickoffs and pull back, did you see how much net worth they were bleeding out in their supports? Like that earlier kill on Taurus in the top jungle was worth about nearly 1,000 gold. The kill on Roger worth almost 1,000 gold as well. Like the snowball effect you have from coming back in. Kills are your comeback mechanic. Like you can jungle farm as much as you want. It keeps you in equilibrium, but to pull back into the game, it's down to pickoffs. And TSM almost had the right idea. They find these soft supports. They feel like they can re-engage off the back of that fight with Doom being gone, with your Terrorblade still up and running, but the fight drags on way too long, and the cleanup crew comes in for 9 Pandas. So you have to be careful about that. Like, you find these wins, you have to know when to be satisfied, pull back, reset, and try to do it again and again and again, and then you equalize the game. Because, I mean, these small kills, even support kills, they count for a lot with how the net worth's calculated now on these kills.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now we're going to see TSM focus up on the bottom side here on this new Ancient Camp. Tormentor is spawning in a moment. Ooh, Tomato's smoke breaks for the moment. Behind him is Kiyotaka with an Invis rune. He's scouting them all out. He gets the coil BKB immediately from Tomato as they're looking for Bryle. It's going to be the Underlord trying to join him, but the chain stuns are there. Void Spirit needs to get out. Astral Step is up, and he's gone. There's a TP away into the base. He will make it, but the Doom's caught the Terrorblade, and Ari's doing his best to keep him alive. The chase continues. In comes the Concoction, the Shallow Grave as well. Is it enough? He gets the BKB into the Sunder. Tomato, he's doing his best to live, but it's just not enough. Ramses is too damn strong. He's now turning attention to the Underlord, just beating him down, slowing him up underneath this egg. It's going to be able to stun him up once again. The Abyssal Blade comes through, and a double kill for Kiyotaka right into the enemy Tormentor. It's a 4-for-1.
Yeah, it's not the cleanest from 9 Pandas. Like, losing out on Miero, still dropping that kill is not too bad for TSM. I mean, that's, again, what, 1.8k gold spread out? So it's a lot still, but you're taking bigger losses and dropping these heroes. Like, you need to be able to sustain through these fights for the side of TSM to really reap the benefits, and they're not able to, and it was, again, a little bit messy from 9 Pandas, going for the Doom on the TB instead of something like the Void Spirit. You're not able to keep Bryle down, he's able to escape, but you managed to pin down and Tomato, again, outside of the Doom duration, because he did just manage to run away. I think if that fight went a little bit more disciplined out from 9 Pandas, like if they managed to Doom up the Void Spirit instead, you still had enough to probably control Tomato. He was forced to run back with quite a fair bit due to the Doom. Like, he couldn't maximize his metamorphosis there as much as he wanted to. But it still works out for 9 Pandas anyway. So for TSM, they have got to find a way to just play hit and run somehow. Whitemont's in a pretty risky spot trying to scout for the Roche.
I mean, he did see it. And they will walk in there. This will drop the second cheese. Speaking of the cheese, have you fiddled around with trying to get the block of cheese yet in your games?
I've seen it in the game. I think I've seen it in the secret game up against Ivy. Poppy picked it up.
Oh, they caught Whitemon just barely on the edge here as he was trying to hide into the trees, and they will just punish him for that. But yeah, block of cheese, it's really good, man. I got it in my last game as Ricky, and I had like effectively 400 HP on that hero, which was pretty nuts. It's a cool, cool little addition.
It takes so long to build up to, but when you do have it, it just feels amazing. I think again, I saw it in a really long Secret versus Ivy game that went 70 minutes, maybe, yeah, around 77 minutes, and For some reason, Puppy was the one to eat it on a silencer. So
I think it's fine
like,
on
all right.
supports. Yeah, you either put it on supports or you put it on like someone who needs to like basically.
No, I get that. I
survive
get
fights,
that.
right?
It's just that. Well, Puppy's job as a silencer at that point was just global silence in the
Yeah,
back
it's just
line.
press R.
So, yeah, I think they were just confused. It was
Oh.
the patch is still fresh.
Yeah. So they're gonna find the Underlord here as they look in, maybe try and turn this on to the Doom. The question is, will they even have the damage? The Hex is there. They
So
look for Kyo
durable.
talking on the backside. The Impale's not gonna connect. They just always have the information, and Whitemon will go down again. And the chase continues. Oh, nice coil. Does drop the Shallow Grave here for the moment on the Dazzle. He's trying to try and make it into the base, but there's just too many slows. Both supports fall. And 9 Panda is looking very strong right now. 4 minutes left on this Aegis. Ramses will start chipping away at the high ground.
No cares in the world. Has the butterfly to protect from the physical output of Tomato. He does show up. It's just so hard to kind of keep track here. You've got the Hex already up for Antares Kiyotaka with a dig on. They're feeling themselves here in 9 Pandas.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I just noticed Bryle has a Desolator here on the Void Spirit, so he does a lot of damage, but these heroes are all so tanky. Like, he's I feel like he can't be the only one doing the damage in these fights. Is you just have Tomato split pushing. He's like, yeah, give up the Rax, guys. It's just one Rax, you know, whatever. IDC.
Yeah. I'm a bit intrigued with Bryle going for that Desolator over to BKB. He was queuing up the BKB way earlier on. I don't know if damage is a major issue. I mean, we did see the effect of that Crimson Guard when they solo jumped the arrow. It feels impossible. But this hero having 3.2k HP, it's so hard to kill him off. And for the side of TSM, like, we have to reach that point where Tomato is comfy in joining these fights. He's working towards what looks to be the Blood Torrent next. So maybe at that point, with the additional control, the little bit more magic res you get for the Terrorblade, you're comfier in these fights, but we have to see them execute as a team here on TSM. If not that, then pickoffs with Bryle. Right? Like, the Deso can help burst some heroes in the back line. Although it does feel like, I mean, the supports are pretty durable. Maybe Roger's the softest target you could go for. Even he has an Aeon disc, though.
Yeah, he has Aeon now. Instant BKB there from Tomato to get out of the coil. So he's going to be able to survive there. Now, top lane, they do have this XP rune and the Tormentor still available. TSM will scout this out. The question is, like, does 9 Pandas care? Because they're just getting right to work here on your tier 3 in the mid lane. We'll go ahead and pop the Crimson Guard, try and slow down this push here a little bit as the Alchemist continue to just wail away here. I mean, in comes Tomato on the Terrorblade finally, but it looks like Ramses just takes 0 damage from this guy thanks to the Sunray behind him. Whitemon will be able to stun him up here with the Spike Carapace if he wants, and he will. But again, they're just trying to delay this push. The jump in from Mira, though. The nice silence in from the Void Spirit as well, trying to find him a little bit of space. Great Impale. They're trapping down Antares. He eats the cheese, gets hexed up, gets the taser off as well. So full team-wide disarm. You will just back away safely. So for the moment, the high ground defense is holding, but that meta is going to expire.
Doesn't have too much time left. On the side of 9 Pandas, they're not relenting. They still have the Doom ready. Coil in a second. They've got everything for this re-engage.
Yeah, they've got Aegis for another minute. He's still got the Chemical Rage available. And Kasane, he's completely out of resources. He needs to be very careful here. Almost no mana left. Does have those Guardian Greaves fall back on Kiyotaka. Jumps onto the backside. Looks for the Dazzle. Does barely miss on the Impale, but it's just space made as Ramses has nearly finished off his Rax. Fortification comes out to stall, but it's not going to be enough. They will build a graphic Kasane with the deny, but they've caught the Nyx Assassin once again. Shallow Grave here from Ari Nicedon trying to keep him alive. They do get a nice 2-hero impale. They heal him up for the moment, but the Nyx gets bursted. And it looks like 9 Pandas will just walk out of the base. Do they? Never mind, they're re-engaged. The blink in, the Doom onto the Underlord. The buyback in from the Nyx as well. Pop Spike Carapace, but a jump in from the Void Spirit, trying to find themselves an opening, but they're all just too tanky. No one losing their health, and they turn around. They get the stun. Another Shallow Grave here from the Dazzle, trying to do his best, but the chain stuns are there. Bryle falls, as now Aegis expires. You think they've backed, but it looks like 9 Pandas have no Like, they just don't care. They're not going to retreat at any time here as they dive in for more. They get the Nyx. That's going to be the dieback. The Underlord stuck underneath the tier 3 tower, or tier 4 towers. Drops a bit of Malice, trying to buy him space. Ari gets the Shallow Grave off as well, but he's just too far gone. Kasane dies. Tier 4 is under siege. Your Terrorblade still farming for next game as he's 11 seconds away from that meta. And without that, I don't think he can really defend.
No. Looks pretty hard for TSM. Should just be calling GG maybe after a little bit of another poke here.
I mean, they're going to try. In comes Tomato. He's got the meta. The BKB from Kiyotaka will protect him. They turn around onto Bryle. He gets just decimated. It's just way too much damage. The Aghanim Scepter Egg will be able to protect him. The Abyssal Blade is there. The follow of Abyssal Blade, the Sunder onto Ramses, but the GGs are out. And TSM will drop in game number 1 here to 9 Pandas.
Convincing start from the side of 9 Pandas. TSM, I figured, you know, with this kind of lineup, I thought we'd see more tempo coming from them. You know, like